everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Male Perspective. I'm your host, Lana Reid, and today on this day, I have with me a gentleman by the name of Trevor Gabbidon. He is the author of a children's book called Daughters Grow Up So Fast, A Father's Perspective. And he has a little lady, and I'm looking forward to talking to him more, learning more about his little lady, the book, and his journey into fatherhood. But first and foremost, as I always do, I take a quick moment to pause, say thank you to you, sir, for making time for me today. Time is a gift. Once we give, we can't get it back. So I truly appreciate you making time for me today. And with that, sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Awesome. So let's get going because we have a short amount of time here together. I want to first open up with how everything got started and got the ball rolling. How old is Miss Thing currently? How old is Lil Mama?
She is 5 years old. She'll be 6 in July.
Good age. Lots of energy, lots of curiosity about things, and keeping daddy just on his toes, I'm assuming, huh?
Yeah, definitely. It's always something new with her. She's growing up really, really fast, hence the book title.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming for a young man, it's already stressful when you find out you're going to be a father. Was there another layer of stress when you found out it was going to be a girl?
Honestly, I think most of the stress came like me figuring out I was going to be a young dad at that, still being in school. It was definitely an adjustment. I was I was always in the gym, just playing basketball or playing video games, things like that. So I had to quickly kind of change that and go from being a young man to like a father. Like I was grown at this point. So I definitely had to change a few things. But when I found out I was one to say I always wanted a boy first, but now I switched and I kind of want all girls now. So it's funny how that worked out.
Oh boy, you're going to have a whole bunch of gray hair if that happens. A whole bunch of gray.
I got it's my daughter now, and I have a niece. So, and then all my younger cousins, they're all female. So I deal with it all the time now.
Oh, bless your heart. That's a whole bunch of stress for a young man. Okay. Now, you mentioned you were, young and going to the gym and just doing your own thing. In my experience, you menfolk creatures, especially you young ones, you tend to think you're invincible and I'm just living my life and doing me. Has your life kind of shifted or adjusted since Lil Mama's come around? Have do you move differently in this world now since she's here?
I was always one to never really, of course, do something to where my life is at risk, I'd say. But I could definitely say like my daughter has definitely opened my eyes to a lot of things. I'm a little more sensitive to certain topics. I kind of watch what I'm saying around people. I've always been a nice person, but I'm more understanding when it comes to the female side of things. She taught me patience and just how to kind of be a little more soft.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because you can't just, little girl, she get them big eyes and them tears come and dad gotta.
And she gets me every time, just like that.
Too precious. Well, let me get going on the book because that's why we're here. Daughters Grow Up So Fast, from a father's perspective. My question is, she's only 5. At what point in her journey did you say, hey, this is moving kind of quickly here? I mean, when did you realize that?
Well, going from when I was with her mother, the mother of my child, I got to see her every day. And I feel like I definitely learned that I kind of took that for granted. When I get her now every other weekend, and she's just growing so fast, coming to me with wanting new things, just her vocabulary getting better. She's showing me these new dances or just wanting to do everything by herself versus when she was younger, newborn, 1, 2, 3 years old, it was she needed help walking. She needed help getting this. I had to help make her certain stuff. Now, when it comes to stuff like peanut butter jelly sandwiches, she's showing me that she knows how to do it. Or if she wants eggs, she's asking me, do I know how to make eggs? So she teach me how to do it. But I've been around 25 years, so I think I know how to make eggs.
I think I got this, lady. Okay, I think I got this.
But I think it finally hit me. I say she just started kindergarten, and my first encounter with boys happened this year, where I guess there's a kid in her class who has a crush on her.
Uh-oh.
But he's kind of like, I could tell he's playing from when I hear what the teacher says, but he's like a little rough. He tries to play with her like she's a boy. So that's when and she'll come to me. And at first she told me something. She's like, oh, I don't want to say his name, but she's like, such and such he did this today.
Mm-hmm.
He was bothering me. And then fast forwards, he'll do something again. And she's like, don't worry about it, daddy. I'm not going to worry about it. You don't worry about it. And I'm like, well, you're only 5.
It's like, hold up, wait a minute.
So that was my first encounter of like, wow, she's actually growing up, because she's telling me what's going on and she's understanding it. And then she's coming to me telling me, don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it.
Already handling herself. So, okay, I ain't mad at her. Well, you mentioned this little guy that has taken a liking to your daughter. And that made me think of, I think I read on one of the books, you said something like, a father is a daughter's first true love.
Mm-hmm.
Do you say? So just wondering, when she brings her second true love around to you for inspection, what are you hoping she brings to you?
I'm hoping she brings somebody who's understanding, somebody who's gonna provide, and somebody who's gonna just lead her in the right direction. Okay. If she was here right now with me, I would let her just say our famous catchphrase, which is just always be a leader, not a follower.
Okay.
All I gotta say is always be and she'll finish it off.
Okay.
So I'd want her to just bring someone that she likes, of course, and just knowing that she has a long road ahead of her. And I kind of like, being a male, I got to see the world in a different perspective, and having a daughter, she's showing me another perspective, because no matter what she goes through in life, we both are going to have 2 totally different paths and lanes, just because I'm a male and she's a female. So I'm just hoping she brings along someone who's willing to be a man, I'd say, because nowadays I don't know.
It's interesting. We're going to be politically correct. It's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to give him the once over.
We'll have a nice talk.
You have other brothers? Is the whole uncle clan going to show up? The posse thing?
Yep, it's actually, my mom has 5 boys and 1 girl, so she has a bunch of uncles.
Oh, bless her heart. I feel so sorry for her.
She has a ton of uncles.
Oh, baby. Well, does she know the book is about her?
Yeah, she actually, I've started out wanting to write adult fiction books, kind of like my favorite author, Sister Soldier. So
awesome.
Kind of started trying to mimic her style books, but it was just too hard trying to start a chapter and end a chapter and not write the whole book all in one chapter. And then one day I was just thinking about my daughter and my nieces. They always cry when they don't have a tablet or she can't use my phone. I never really hear her asking to read books as much as I wanted to read books as a kid, other than what she's expected to read in school. So that's what gave me the whole children's book idea. But when I wrote the book, it was with intentions of one day I'm not going to be here. So this book will kind of always show her exactly how I was feeling about her, whether I'm here or not. But she's the first one. She knows the title word for word. She'll bring it up randomly. She's rushing to show family members at Christmas, Thanksgiving. When I read her in class, I could just look at the smile on her face. She's really happy. So she definitely knows the book is about her. And then, the cover I chose, the book's here, it's actually a live cover picture of her. I think she had I want to say for her second or third birthday, she had like a photo shoot, and that was the picture I used.
Awesome. Okay. Let me go back here a little second. You said Sister Soldier. How old are you, young man?
25.
What you know about some Sister Soldier?
Well, my aunt was a Sister Soldier fan. So when
Oh,
I actually shouldn't have been reading her books as young
I'm
as,
getting ready to
but
say.
my aunt in New York, like I said, I used to like to read a lot of books.
Okay.
When I didn't have any more books, my aunt had a chest full of books. And I don't know how I picked up that book, but that was one book that I picked up maybe, I want to say going to 8th grade.
Uh-huh.
And then
Okay.
yeah, I just started reading Sister Soldier books. And I actually I rebought her collection not too long ago, but I haven't got to read them yet.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. But I was like, wait a minute, that's not even in his generation. But I mean, good stuff to read. Good stuff to read. But okay. Let me get back on track here. So Lil Mama has a big old smile when she sees dad come into the classroom. You've had the opportunity to do some readings in some classrooms I saw on your Instagram. How are the other kids kind of responding to the book?
They love it. You know, when I wrote the book, a lot of people who have sons were like, when are you going to do a spinoff for dads with their sons? And I said, I'm working on it. It's probably going to be something totally different because I don't have a son. So I don't know how I'm going to get that book together yet, but it is coming. But for me, I thought it was going to be, okay, well, this book is for girls. So let me write a book catered to the young men out there or the little boys. But when I read in the classes, the little boys are just as happy with the book as the young girls. So
Awesome.
I'm learning on this children's book author journey. Children are so, what's the word? They're growing and they're so happy. Like, I don't think it wouldn't be like, oh, I can't read that book. That book's for girls. Because when I finish the book, I get mixed emotions from both sides.
Okay.
And I think the little boys enjoy the book just as much as the little girls. That they ask plenty of questions, and then once they figure out the book is about my daughter, and I actually use a live photo, and when they figure out that I'm actually the author of the book, it opens up a ton of different questions.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you're the guy. You become this famous celebrity to them, right?
That's what it feels like. They make me feel very famous.
Now, if I read, I don't know where I was ready, somewhere when I was getting ready for today, the book is broken down into sections, like the different stages of your daughter's life. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, so I kind of started from, well, I could read with the synopsis, and it'll kind of go from there.
Okay.
As fathers, we often have many things running through our minds as we watch our little princesses grow up. People always ask us that number one question: what are you going to do when she gets older? We may laugh it off or smile, but the truth is we may never be able to handle them growing up. Here's a little glimpse of what goes on inside a girl dad's brain. And so from there, I kind of broke it into that first car ride home out the hospital when she was a newborn. Then it transitions into elementary, going to middle school, the first bus ride going to elementary, then from middle school to high school prom, and then I think college. So it kind of chips away at it. It's a short story, but it gets you get to see a big picture of something.
Okay. Did it take a long time to write the book?
It took me about 2 hours to write it, actually. I think the process of getting the book together is what took the longest. I finished the book in 2 hours, but the process to finish it and get the illustrations and format it and just figure out the title, because I didn't know the title. The title came when the book was finished.
Okay.
And that process probably took about 3 months.
Okay.
For me, I'm a fast writer. Once I start something, I try to finish it there. So it could have took me 5 hours, but I was going to finish it that night if I started it. So this book was the easiest, I'd say. My next couple of books I'm working on is kind of taking a little longer because I want it to be different.
Okay.
Kind of spend time in the children's book section at different stores, just grabbing ideas, and then there I just try to bring something different.
Okay, gotcha. Now that you have gone through this process and you know what you know, is there anything you would have done differently when it comes to writing this book?
I would have had a little more money saved up.
Ah,
It's a process going into the book, but once you finish the book, that's only half of it. You still got to figure out how you can get these books sold, how you can get these books to the right target audience, and how you're going to market it. So for me, I'm just learning the best thing that works for me is matching the face with the book. I like to go to these different schools. I'm mainly going to different book events, just networking events, trying to meet people. I'm on Instagram, just finding the parent pages, the
mm-hmm.
teachers, the church members, all that stuff. So I kind of try to do it myself. That way,
Okay.
like I'm serious about it. And this is just one of many more books to come. So I like to do it organically.
Gotcha. That's always the best. And it gives a good personable feel to it. So I can see that. Now, you just mentioned networking and you mentioned the schools. And I want to go back. I want to make sure I touch on that because I was being nosy and roaming through your Instagram. I saw that you did a reading in an elementary school class with a teacher that you sat with that was your teacher when you were younger, right?
That's actually when I first moved from New York to Georgia. That was my first teacher here.
How was that to come full circle? What was that sitting in your old classroom?
It was actually like a surreal feeling, full circle moment. I wasn't not something I expected, of course.
Oh,
So when I had got the chance and I saw that I could read at my old school and I saw my teacher's name, I was like, well, let me pick her class. I wonder if she's gonna remember me. So when I picked her class, I sent her an email just in case, just to let her know I'm coming to your class. I'm not sure if you remember me. She's like, I'm older now, so my memory might not be there, but I think I remember your last name. And then once
oh,
I got to the class and started speaking, she remembered everything. And it was actually good. I actually was having like flashbacks of me in the classroom and how I was and just being eager to read. So I was able to kind of talk to the kids and a lot of them were like, they want to write too. But I was just letting them know, it starts in this classroom because ironically, she was my reading and writing teacher. So
awesome.
I just let them know, if you want to write, Miss Henderson kind of gave me the foundation.
Okay. So, and Miss Henderson wasn't saying, "Oh my gosh, he's coming back to my class." You were a good kid while you were there, right?
I was a good kid.
Okay, awesome. Truly an example of how we should treat everybody with kindness because you never know who you're going to circle back to. So that's truly a good example of how you should build your network and watch how you're treating people. Because I thought that was so cute for you to come full circle back to your fifth grade class.
Well, it was my fifth grade class. I think she teaches fourth grade now. So
Okay, that's great. And you mentioned that you got some other books in the works. So should we be expecting those soon or?
um I'd say at the end of the year, only
Okay.
because like I said, I started nursing school and that's been a journey in itself. So it kind of put a halt on things. I kind of get to write when I get time now versus
Mm-hmm.
when I first started this book, I was waiting to get into school. So I was able to kind of do things on my time. But I think I say about 2 books should be finished by the end of the year.
Awesome. I love it. Are they about Lil Mama or something else?
Something else. One book that I could say because I was been speaking to the classes about it and I'm getting a lot of good feedback on it from the kids. But one book I'm working on now is actually about twins. They're identical twins, a boy and a girl. They just moved from somewhere and they moved to a city. They have these unique accents. Nobody kind of understands it, but they make fun of them. They pick on them a lot because their accent is so different. But one day these twins just develop these superpowers and now they're like saving kids at school. For example, a kid might fall down during recess and have a cut on their leg. One of the twins have a vision. They show up to the scene at recess and they fix the cut, but they're wearing their suits, so nobody knows who they are. So
Okay.
this book is kind of gonna just teach because I think it's gonna be a 2 series book, and then on the last book I'll kind of reveal who the students are, and this book will kind of just teach, not to judge someone. Don't judge a book by its cover. You never know
So
who might come back to help you. So
yes, right. That's right. That's kind of building on what I was saying. You never know who you're going to cross paths with. Now, That's an interesting concept. And like I said, I was nosy before I came to today's interview. You are a twin yourself, right?
Yes, I'm a
Ah, okay. Okay. I was like, okay, so we're putting it all together. All righty. I got you. I got you. Now, let's say well, first let me pause here. Since the books are not about Miss Lady, do you think she's gonna be upset? Like, hey, wait a minute, I'm the star, I'm the celebrity. Why you not writing about me again, Dad?
I think she'll be. She might have that. She might react like that. Who knows? But I think she'll enjoy another book. It'll just give her something else to read. Because when I
My,
make these books, I'm trying to think about what would make her want to read. Like I know she picks up this book because she sees it's about her and she's on
mhm.
the cover, but going into the next couple books, I need her to feel the same way about every book that she reads, not just one because she can't read my book forever. So I kind of tailor the books to where if I pick up this book and I show it to her, will she read it? So I'm trying to figure. I'm still figuring it out, but something like that.
You got a little bit of time, not much, but you got a little time because it does move fast. It does move fast. I will tell you that from experience. Well, let me go back to your journey as a father here. Ask you some questions about fatherhood real quick. Uh, let's say down the line, way down the line, because you're in nursing school and you're trying to write some books and get some stuff accomplished. Let's say Lil Mama is blessed to have a baby brother. Do you think you will be a different parent to a baby boy than you have been to your daughter?
Um, Different in the sense of I'm trying to raise this little boy into a young man and then off to a man on his own. So I think I'd be a little more rough,
Hmm.
I'd say, or a little more, I'd say tough love versus a little more sentimental towards my daughter. But I definitely would kind of probably love him some more because of just how the world is now. Like
Hmm.
I think the odds are against black men.
True.
When I wrote this book, I didn't expect the feedback that I got, how I got it. Like the feedback has been great. Everybody's more so surprised that I wrote a book.
Oh, okay.
But nobody knew I was a writer as well anyway. But I feel like, people see the earrings and stuff like that. And for me, I like make my own do-rags. So if I don't have a haircut, I'm wearing one of my do-rags that I designed.
Okay.
So I think if you don't know me, you're gonna see me with earrings on, or if I'm in the gym and I have a do-rag covering my hair, you might think whatever, right? Until you actually have a conversation with me, or you might see me on Instagram, or you see me in passing and I'm handing out my books and stuff like that. So I feel like there's a bad light on young black men
A lot of
and
stereotypes. Yeah.
and a lot of stereotypes on black fathers as well. They just automatically assume if you're not with the mother of your child and you're not an active dad. And I'm just trying to paint a new picture because I think over the course of time, social media kind of made it a thing to kind of just bring up bad. If a dad is not being active, that's the first thing you'll see.
Hmm.
I'm trying to represent, it's me and a whole bunch of other
A
dads out
lot
there
of you guys are
actually
right.
doing the right thing, but it's just not in. Doing the
Hmm.
right thing is not in. So that's all I'm doing, just trying to use my platform and just speak what others want to say.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, it is, social media has kind of exacerbated the way in which the negative images are portrayed, and it's kind of sad, because there are a lot of black men out there, doing their job, rolling up their sleeves and doing a phenomenal job at fatherhood, and we don't see that too often, and we kind of think maybe that's by design, but we're not going to get into that. Are in your age, in your crew, or in your area, do you see a lot of fathers kind of doing doing the work like you are?
Yeah, I see it. Like I said, my older brother's he's a dad. I actually had my daughter first, but I actually he's always doing
Your older brother, your twin?
no, I have an older brother. He's a year
Oh,
older.
I was getting ready to say his.
So I see him and how he raises my niece, and he does a great job. But
Okay.
you don't really see dads being a dad being like plastered on social media. And I take an example: if we were not doing our job,
Mm,
how things would be, and
okay.
who would say. But overall, I think people around me, at least my friends group, if they have kids, they're doing the right thing. Because I wouldn't even associate myself with someone who's first not taking care of his responsibilities. But
True.
I do see it more dads being a dad than dads not being a dad.
Awesome.
And I think
Awesome.
it's just, like I said, social media has painted this picture that you kind of can't take away. You kind of got to tackle it piece by
Hmm.
piece. But I think overall, it starts with us. It starts with the young fathers, and it also starts with young fathers knowing if you do not stay with the mother of your child, your kid doesn't go along with that.
True.
I think that's key. When I speak to people and just being in my friends group and being young and just seeing stuff on social media, a lot of that is going on. And then it's
Hmm.
not till later on where the young dad is, we get older now, we're not young. We're older. Now you want to come into the kid's life, but now you got this big gap that you kind of have to explain to this kid who's older now and probably felt all this that just kind of created this gap, and now they feel
Hmm.
this way, and now you got to kind of try to figure it out. But that's why I say it starts while you're young, and even if you're not a young dad, it starts in the beginning. If you're there for whatever reason, just always there, no matter what,
Hmm.
anything kind of stop your relationship with your son or your daughter, I think you'll be okay. But
Awesome.
the problem comes when you're an absent dad and then you try to come back in the picture. I
Okay.
feel like the kid gets the short end of the stick,
Yeah.
and it just only builds a gap. Like I wasn't as close to my dad. I think I was close to around him when I was like age 8, and
Hmm.
I haven't seen him since I was 8. We kind of talk every now and then, but the dynamic has changed. I'm 25 now, so it's certain conversations that I wish I would have had with him when I was younger that we
True.
can't have now. And like I'm learning now, even when we talk, it's kind of awkward. When it
Hmm.
shouldn't be awkward with your dad or your mom, but because we had that long amount of time away from each other, that's kind of what happens.
You're almost like a stranger at this
Mhm.
point. Like, yeah, yeah. Well, you're bringing up something just out of curiosity. What what tips or how have you made co-parenting successful at this point?
Um, you kind of gotta live by that name, co-parenting. It's
Hmm.
not co-parenting in hopes of you're gonna get your girlfriend back, but
Hmm.
co-parenting as in like we made this decision to bring a child into the world, and now things didn't work out, unfortunately, but now we got a nice baby to kind of take care of and grow. So you just kind of learn that it's not about you anymore.
Okay.
And even if things aren't going right between you and your partner, you still kind of got to put on some big girl, big boy pants and just always keep it centered around your kid. I think
Awesome.
if people did that, a lot of stuff wouldn't even take place because
Yes.
your heart wouldn't be in relationship mode. It'd be in daddy or mommy mode.
Yes. Yes. The kids shouldn't suffer because the two adults are having their particular
Mhm.
issues or whatever. True. True. So we've mentioned a couple of times about today's world and times, and it's really kind of strange. As a father today, raising a girl, with social media and schools and just going to the store. What concerns do you have as a parent?
I'm nervous when that time comes because I can baby her now and kind of show her the way, but at the end of the day, she's still gonna make her own decisions. She still has a whole life to live. She's still gonna There's times where she's not with me. Now she's in elementary school, but as she gets older, she's going to go to middle school. So I might teach her a certain way, but she's going to go right to school and hear other things from other students, other friends, other adults around her. She's going to go to high school. She's going to have
Mhm.
boyfriends. She might feel like certain no matter how much I try to instill in her that we can talk about everything, she might have these moments where she feels like, I can't talk to my dad about this,
Mhm.
kind of personal. So I'm a little nervous only because, I'm a male. I've never been a female. So I can't, I don't know what her world is going to look like.
Mhm.
But I know in her world, boys are going to come. There's going to be situations where she's going to have to make certain decisions for herself. And there's going to be some times where I give her advice and she might not like it. So she'll
Mhm.
listen to me and still choose to do something else.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm a little nervous, but I think I'm doing a good job of trying to just grow her into the person she wants to be, but letting her know right from wrong.
Awesome. And she has a support system beyond you. Like I know there's a lot of boys, but she has an aunt or somewhere any between both. She has females, other
Yeah.
females she can go to, right?
Mhm.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Alrighty. So I think you mentioned this, but being a father now these 5 years, what have you learned from her? How has she made you the man that I see today?
She taught me patience, a lot of patience. She taught me, things don't happen overnight. She teaches me just to keep going. There's going to be moments where you might be down for a little bit, but in those moments, you keep fighting. I know there's plenty of times where, I just don't feel like doing something. I don't
Mhm.
want to do it today. I'll do it tomorrow. I used to be able to put off a lot of things to the side if I didn't feel like doing it. But now when I think about her, she's always going to ask me for that new toy or this new thing. Her thing is if I get her something, she wants me to get something for my niece and my cousin.
Mhm.
So I know with her, I just got to keep going. She taught me, she taught me how to she's always telling me to be nice to people.
Oh.
Always her thing. So she taught me to always kind of have that open mind and know that, people go through stuff just like I do. Every day is not a good day. You might see a person on a bad day and you just got to kind of know that that is not for you. They
Mhm.
might just be going through something and you just caught the end of it.
Mhm.
She taught me how to, I'd say she gave me a better, taught me how to love in a sense. She
Okay.
kind of gives me that nurturing side of things. I'm like, not to say I didn't know how to love, but I was younger. Now I'm 25. So with her, she kind of just taught me how to see her cry, I could watch her cry and not be mad about it. Like, why you
Mhm.
cry? Like giving her a whooping for crying is not something I do.
Yeah.
I kind of let her cry, give her a chance to cry, feel her emotions, and then we talk about it.
Yeah, process her emotions. Beautiful. It's amazing. I think a lot of parents miss the lessons, but kids really, really do come here as our angels to teach us a lot of stuff. So it's just beautiful to hear that, you're embracing all the learning lessons from her. So that's just truly a
Yeah,
delight.
I definitely, because like I said, I don't think I would have had this children's book author idea if I didn't have her.
Yeah.
Almost 9 out of 10 that I would not be writing children's books right now if it wasn't for her.
Awesome. Now, you briefly mentioned that you also do make do-rags. Were you doing that before she came along, or this business thing took off with her?
Um, so funny thing is I used to try to write books. Probably it started in elementary school.
Okay.
I wasn't like, of course, not serious. I just make my own kind of paper books. And I tried it again in high school, but like I said, I couldn't really go from figuring out how to start a chapter and end it and not write the
Okay.
whole book in one. Durags, I was always interested in my waves, always had waves. And it was just some certain times I would go to a store and they didn't have a durag that I wanted. And I
Ah,
was like, well, let me see if I could do it. And then I think she kind of jump started it as far as
okay.
I would always put stuff off to the side.
Okay.
But with her, it was kind of like, all right, well, I started the book, I finished it, she likes it. What's next? Same with
Mhm.
the durags. She's looking at the durags and she wants, I have like kid durags as well on the way. And I wouldn't have been thinking about that if it wasn't for her.
Okay.
So she kind of gave me another lane. And I
Mhm.
think it'll be successful because everybody has children. Kids get their hairs done a lot, just as much as their parents do. And they're going to need something to wrap their heads in.
Mhm.
Rags and bonnets, but it's going to have a kid spin to it, to where a kid will see it in the store or they might see it on social media and they'll want it just because of what's on the durag or the bonnet. So
Sounds like Lil Mama has pushed you to be a better man.
Yes, he definitely did.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, before I ask you my random question, whenever I run into a father who's kind of still fresh and young in his journey, he hasn't been at it long, I always like to ask this one particular question. You're how old as of today?
25.
25. So let's say your daughter, fast forward, and your daughter is 25, and the two of you are sitting down talking, just having some quality time together. And she says to you, Dad, I just want to thank you for being the father that you were to me. I learned from you, I learned blank. What are some of the things you would hope that you taught her, that she learned from you?
I would say I hope she learns to always stand on her own 2 feet. Like I said, always be a leader, not a follower. Don't be a lender nor a borrower. If you can, you do what you can do with what you have.
Mm-hmm.
I want to instill in her the power of working for what you want.
Mm-hmm.
I think if that'll be something that I kind of want her to. The world is hers. She just has to work for it. Nothing's gonna be given to her.
No entitlement.
But if she wants it, whatever it is in life, she'll get it done. And I just want her to, of course, be brave. Don't be afraid of failure because you
Mhm.
got to fail to grow. So
That's
I'm hoping that she just takes all the stuff that I tell her over the course of her years and kind of just, I don't know, she becomes this version of her father that I never could be.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, awesome, and amazing. I love it. And last, before I ask this random question, when will we be complete with nursing school?
June of 2024.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So little mama gonna be there to see her daddy graduate. Okay. Let's see. Does mom think you spoil her too much?
Yeah, that's the problem I run into nowadays. But for me, we already have limited time when I get her on the weekend. So I try to always, of course, I discipline her now because I see that she gets away. I'll discipline her a little more than I did before because I see that she's smartening up and
Mhm.
she's noticing that she can get away with certain stuff with me because
Play one hand against the other.
so I'm kind of smartening up with that, but it's definitely something I can't help when it comes to spoiling her because in the same breath of me, she might do something that'll make me mad and upset with her. 2, 3 minutes later, of her crying, and we'll talk about it. And now I'm like it never happened, and she's getting spoiled all over again.
Now you're also teaching her how she's going to be interacting with the second love of her life she's going to bring around. So be mindful of all of that, okay? From a older woman's perspective, just passing that on. You're also creating a future wife. So, All right, let's see what we've got, sir. Should you put your socks on first or your pants?
I think I put on my socks first.
Put on your socks first. Okay, so in cases of emergency, I got my socks on, but
I think, yeah, I'm 9 out of 10. I put my socks on first every day.
okay, awesome. So, sir, how do we pick up the book? How do we connect with you so we can stay on the alert for the next few books? Just give us the whole lowdown.
Okay, so the book is currently on Amazon. I think in another month or so, it'll be available on Barnes and Noble.
Okay,
I actually have a book signing. I'm working on a book signing date with Barnes and Noble right now.
great.
And I want to say a couple months down the line, I'll have my own website tailored for my books and whatever else I might sell along on this author journey. So I'll probably have my own link towards my own website. Like I said, the Amazon link is already up, and Barnes and Nobles will be up in about a month or so.
Okay,
And on my Instagram, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
awesome. Okay, and what's your social media handle for Instagram?
Let me see. I don't have my handy dandy bookmark with me. So
Okay,
my Instagram is Trevor _ the author. And then Facebook is just my first and last name, Trevor Gabbidon. And then Twitter is Trev_the author.
Okay. Now on Amazon, in the future, will we see they have the Audible version? Will we see or hear little lady? She'll read the whole book in Audible, maybe, huh?
That's actually a great idea. I never thought of that. Actually, I had met with this independent publisher, and we were going over like the audiobook stuff, and she asked if I wanted to do my own voiceover. So she said I can do it or somebody else could do it for me. But now I'm thinking I might let my daughter do it.
Her read her own book. That would be so precious. And then she could always circle back, when she's 10, when she's 20, when she has her own, and be like, that's my voice there on that book. That would be great. Oh, that would be cool. All right. Well, sir, I am so impressed, to see a younger father just doing the darn thing. I'm so impressed with, just your commitment. I'm so impressed with the growth that she has caused in your life, and just the work that you're putting in fatherhood to kind of change the stereotypes, because like you said, so much negativity is surrounding this image of Black fatherhood. So it's always wonderful to see guys who are challenging in that and putting in the work. So, from the low me, thank you. And I'm expecting, Lil Mama be running for president somewhere down the line or something like that. She's just going to be an awesome and amazing female when she gets up there. So, just keep on being amazing, keep on making her amazing. And, if there's some more coming along the way, they'll be amazing too.
Yeah, there definitely be. I think my plan later on down the road.
Yes, later on down the road.
I want a big family. So one day they'll definitely be all their own little person, and she'll be able to kind of lead the way.
Awesome. I love it. Well, thank you for your time today. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. That is all for this week's episode of The Male Perspective. I'm your host, Lana Reid, and I will see everybody next time. Oh.